Now at 9, the Miami, Oklahoma School District begins work on projects to construct 2 new buildings. Plus, a new clinic in Joplin opens up with a focus on patients 65 years old and up. And
another day, another vote, another failure. The battle to pick a new House Speaker continues. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. The Miami, Oklahoma School District today began work on 2 new construction projects. One of those projects is a new central office. It will be built at the current site of the Health and Wellness Building near Nichols Elementary and will house administrative offices and the school board meeting room. At Miami High School, they are building a secondary classroom that will include new locker rooms, an updated weight room, and a new accessible entrance for all students.
Our third round allocation of this COVID-19 money was roughly $5.9 million. This project is $2.1 million of that 5.9. So, we're able to take that. It'll stay, if that project goes over that amount, it comes out of local money.
The classroom addition will cost $2.1 million and is paid for by the American Rescue Plan. For the administration building, the district sold old buildings to cover the $1.2 million cost. There's a healthcare option in Joplin for older residents. Mercy today held a ribbon cutting for its new Mercy 65 Prime Plus clinic. It will focus on serving Medicare patients, those 65 years and older. Officials say it provides a more intensive primary care experience, which is frequently needed for seniors.
We are going to have longer appointment times. So instead of a typical 15-minute doctor appointment, they're going to be 30 minutes. If they're having their annual wellness visit, we have that planned for an hour. So we have plenty of time to go over any of their needs, make sure that they have everything taken care of at home. We can set them up with home health if that's what they need, really just spending time with them.
The clinic is located at 2216 East 32nd Street between Rangeline and Connecticut Avenue. All right, and now we move to weather, and Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us.
Yeah, it actually turned out to be a pretty good Thursday for us today. We have partly sunny skies, temperatures not bad. It was chilly, but pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year. 48-30 normal high is 44 degrees for this time of the year, but it is cooling down. We have this light southwesterly wind. We're sitting mid to upper 30s, case in point 34 in Miami. It's down to 29 in Chanute. 38 in Neosho. Carthage is sitting at 36 degrees, but not a whole bunch going on. We have some mid and upper level clouds which are increasing, and this is what we're going to see tonight. And a lot of clouds for us tomorrow ahead of our next storm system kind of sitting out across the western third of the country, and that will start to affect us tomorrow night, then heading into the weekend. For us tonight, 33 by 11, 31 by 7. Overnight low of 30, still kind of chilly for us tomorrow. Also, the winds start to pick up a bit. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
The avian flu is hitting farms hard, and with that, your wallet could also be taking a hit at the grocery store. Reporter Lily Wu explains how it's affecting a Kansas restaurant and its customers.
Thanks for coming in today.
When you own a popular restaurant that's been around since 1910, even the owner is put to work.
Somebody has to do it, and I'm like the fastest, so they try to get me to help.
Jeannie Schaff says it's not easy owning a restaurant that serves breakfast and lunch, especially with rising costs for ingredients.
A lot of items have gone up and come back down. Like hamburger, chicken was way high, and it has stabilized again, but the eggs are still high a year and a half later.
Schaff says at Livingston's Diner in Northeast Wichita, they go through 10 cases or 1,800 eggs during the weekend.
It's a lot of eggs.
So now we're paying 61 to 67 for a case of eggs.
When they were 10 to 12 was standard price, normal.
Chickens have been hit hard by the avian flu. The CDC estimates nearly 58 million commercial and backyard birds were affected in the past year across the country.
We have some chickens on the farm, but the feed prices, it all just sifts right down.
You go to the store and buy eggs, you need to take out a loan, or bacon, or anything. It's just terrible on people.
It's almost $7.50 for an 18 count of eggs, and when you have a young family and you're just trying to make ends meet, It's really, really hard.
Livingston's owner says it's frustrating having to raise menu prices to keep up with the rising costs for their most in-demand dishes.
I do hope things stabilize and we can get the supplies we need at a reasonable price so that we can continue on serving Wichita.
It's not just prices that have increased. Schaff says for the last 2 years, they often experience a lack of supply for a certain item, and then the restaurant has to go simply without that item for that long. Officials say Broadway has now been reopened in Pittsburgh. This comes after an accident earlier today at the intersection of East Cleveland Avenue and South Broadway Street resulted in a damaged traffic signal. The closure extended from Ford to Clinton. Authorities in Wheaton, Missouri are searching for the suspect of an armed robbery in a gas station. The robbery happened early this morning. Authorities say the suspect robbed the Fast Trip in Wheaton at gunpoint. They say he demanded money and left the store with an undisclosed amount. He went north on Missouri 86 in the car. If you have any information on the suspect, you are urged to contact the Wheaton Police Department. After the 11th round of voting yielded no House Speaker tonight, House members voted to adjourn until noon tomorrow. Kevin McCarthy still fighting for the top job, but so far, a group of conservative Republicans are standing in his way. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
And I strongly believe that Kevin McCarthy is the person to lead this body in this new fight.
That's been the opinion of about 200 House Republicans for 3 days now. It's the other 20 who say never Kevin, or at least not now Kevin.
Kevin McCarthy does not have the votes.
McCarthy has remained upbeat as reporters have chased him across the Capitol.
It's better that we go through this process right now so we can achieve the things we want to achieve for the American public.
Some McCarthy supporters are fed up with the no votes.
Tell me what he did wrong. I don't know. Was it giving Lauren Boebert $2 million to win her race? Right? Was it giving Bob Good millions to win his race?
Other Republicans are sounding hopeful about McCarthy's prospects.
Within the next 24 hours, for what I hear, and I repeat, everything could change, that he will have an agreement with the 16, 17, or 18 of the holdouts.
There had been talks of reaching across the aisle to cut a deal on a compromise candidate, but that idea got little traction on the floor.
House Democrats stand united again on this ballot to make sure that Hakeem Jeffries is the lead vote getter in this chamber.
And in no way, shape, or form will a Democrat ever hold the gavel to a Republican-controlled House.
Democratic leaders are warning their members to dig in and be ready to vote all weekend long if they have to. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Nick Norris served in the U.S. Navy from 1967 to 1971. The Grove, Oklahoma native was stationed in Vietnam. We salute Nick Norris, a four-state hero. Coming up, more fallout from Southwest Airlines' Christmas meltdown.
Southwest Airlines is still trying to reunite passengers with lost bags. I'm Grady Trimble with Fox Business. Coming up, the latest on that process and what you can do to keep track of your checked bag on your next trip. That's next.
With inflation at a 40-year high, we're all spending more than we want to on heating and air conditioning. But what if those costs, however, could be brought down through simple logistics? A new app aims to do just this. Fox's Eden Brown has more on this edition of Fox on Tech.
Home heating and air conditioning is a $100 billion industry, but it hasn't seen many logistical upgrades in the past few decades. The supply chain technology is outdated, and there's no centralized database linking technicians, suppliers, or manufacturers until now.
The app has become sort of loved by the industry at large because everybody wins, right? It's making everything quicker, more productive, more efficient.
A new tech company called Bluon has created an app that helps technicians and consumers cataloging for the first time the thousands of different HVAC repair parts in one easily searchable location, connecting techs with local distributors, saving time and money. The app also offers those technicians a specialized helpline staffed with experts, meaning a problem that once took hours to diagnose now only takes minutes.
So take a unit from a 30% efficiency loss to a 10% is really not complicated. You are benefiting the consumer by hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands of dollars per year.
And it's not just benefiting the bottom line. Those types of efficiency upgrades are having a huge environmental impact as well, reducing emissions by an average of 500 metric tons per tech per year.
The power of improving, supporting technicians to reducing CO2 and greenhouse gas emissions is insanely powerful. We are doing about 5 times more benefit than all electric vehicles sold this year.
Right now, about 150,000 techs are using this app. That's about half of the HVAC technicians in the U.S. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Americans spending a record $212 billion online shopping this holiday season, despite continued inflation. That number for the time period beginning November 1st through December 31st is 3.5% higher than the same period last year. Deep discounts from retailers helping increase sales, with Adobe Analytics reporting that online sales have been falling year over year since September. As fallout continues over Southwest's recent meltdown, many customers are still without their luggage following the airline's mass cancellations. Fox Business Network's Grady Trimble has more on Southwest's plan to return luggage to customers and also what people are doing to prevent losing their luggage again.
If passengers haven't arranged to pick up their bags at the airport themselves, Southwest is shipping them. They're using FedEx, UPS, even volunteers to get them to passengers. Southwest wouldn't tell me the total number of lost bags they've dealt with during the holiday operational meltdown, but they do expect to have all bags shipped before the end of the week. After that, customers should get them in a matter of days. In addition to doling out refunds and reimbursements, reuniting passengers with their lost bags is just one more huge expense for Southwest Airlines.
When nobody in the baggage sort area knows what flights are operating, what flights are not operating, or where the customer is, we have a real cocktail for total confusion here. And we're talking tens of millions of dollars to try to sort it out. We're probably looking at $300 to $400 a bag trying to get it back to the customer. Then again, we have the other issue of lost bags. Some bags will never be seen on this planet again.
Because nobody wants their checked bag lost forever, a lot of frequent flyers are taking matters into their own hands using these Apple AirTags to track their luggage. In fact, Google searches for AirTags for luggage have increased drastically over the past several weeks. And over on Amazon, the #1 selling item in the electronics section right now, you guessed it, Apple AirTags. In Chicago, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later in sports, we'll have highlights from the opening day of the Kaminsky Classic at Joplin High School.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty good Thursday for us today. Partly sunny skies, not bad, upper 40s for afternoon highs, a little bit above where we should be for this time of the year. In fact, we're going to warm up a little bit more for us on Friday, but the clouds are going to increase. Also, the winds are going to pick up. Nice shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. We did get the showers. We got the thunderstorms, a little bit of severe weather on Monday, but we've had this issue, this drought issue, since going all the way back to June. Southwest Missouri, you are pretty much out of the drought. Into northwestern Arkansas, it's still kind of a moderate drought once you get through the metro, and then still our western counties, Kansas and Oklahoma, still seeing significant drought across the region. But at least overall, we're seeing things start to improve. Temps for us today, most of us, we went into the upper 40s to near 50 degrees. We have dropped off a bit. It's not terrible. 33 in Sarcoxie, 35 in Pineville, Veneta at 32. We have 29 in Chanute. But most of us are going to drop back upper 20s to near 30 degrees later on tonight. 37. Westerly winds are light. Humidity is at 52%. Those winds will start to pick up just a little bit. So we kind of hang out near 30, back to 43 by 10. We do have some mid and upper level clouds streaming through. So clouds are going to increase. We're mainly going to stay dry, but we're watching our next storm system out across the western third of the country. And this is going to shoot out into the central plains and start to affect us as we go through the next couple days. You can see the wave right there, Utah, down through parts of Arizona. All right, let's go through time. I'm going to stop in the morning hours. Here come the clouds, upper 20s to near 30. Clouds thicken through the morning hours, near 50 by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, lower 50s, mostly cloudy skies. Can't rule out a random sprinkle or two. 50 in Nevada, 53 in Neosho, Columbus 53, Welch making it up also about 53 degrees. Clouds thicken tomorrow night. Late evening, we could start to see a few random showers popping up. Showers a little bit more numerous as we go into Saturday morning, and then just kind of clouds with on and off light showers kind of picking up throughout the daytime hours on Saturday. The greater shot is going to be on the Missouri side, and then this system will rotate out just in time for Sunday morning. All right, here's your day planner. 31 to start, 50 by noon, high temp 53. We'll drop back to 51 by 5 p.m. It's Friday, it's a good day. It's just going to be cloudy across the area, and then we'll start to see the sunshine returning by Sunday. 53 tomorrow, 49 Saturday, 48 Sunday, 56 Monday. Tuesday looks good. Wednesday, 60. The winds pick up. Next storm system moves in Thursday, a bigger storm system. So Jalen, in the second half hour, we'll talk about that bigger system moving in late next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Doug.
All righty, bud.
The governor of California declaring a state of emergency as a massive storm known as a bomb cyclone slammed the northern part of the state with heavy rain and hurricane-force winds. Fox News senior correspondent Claudia Cohen is in Mill Valley, about 15 miles north of San Francisco, with the latest.
It's the third atmospheric river, nicknamed a Pineapple Express, to batter California in a week, bringing several inches of rain and blustery winds and toppling this gas station canopy south of San Francisco. 2 of the fuel pumps were damaged as the roof came crashing down. No one was hurt. The brunt of the storm hit during the evening commute and lasted several hours, turning creeks into rivers, stranding cars in standing water, and causing widespread power outages.
They had a couple of vehicles, motorists that stranded. My boss rescued an 81-year-old lady, so she was really happy to get out of there.
In Marin County, gusts were clocked at 85 miles an hour. This deluge comes on the heels of a massive downpour on New Year's Eve that caused widespread flooding and is blamed for at least 3 deaths in Sacramento County. Residents stocking up on sandbags, emergency supplies, and provisions.
Usually we ask people to load your own sandbags, but we've got strong guys and some gals out there who are loading them into the cars to get people in and out as quickly as possible.
Mandatory evacuation orders are in effect in parts of Santa Barbara, San Jose, and Santa Cruz County, which got 4 inches of rain overnight. This storm has prompted high wind warnings, flash flood warnings, and dangerous surf advisories. Elevated surf up to at least 15 feet is forecast for Thursday and Friday for the Central Coast, with tides up to 6 feet through Sunday. And no cars are getting through flooded intersections like this one behind me. Drivers are being advised to stay home. In Mill Valley, California, Claudia Cohen, Fox News.
Coming up, the latest on Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin is making progress. Doctors say the Buffalo Bills' safety is improving significantly, but he's not out of the woods just yet. I'm Stephen Goen in Cincinnati. I've got the details coming up.
Scientists are finding success turning brain cancer cells into a working vaccine. Doctors at Brigham and Women's Hospital say they took glioblastoma cells in mice and used gene engineering to turn them into a vaccine that both eliminates tumors and provides long-term immunity. The hope is to develop this technology to make cancer-killing vaccine effective in humans. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin has shown what physicians treating him are calling a remarkable improvement over the past 24 hours. The team announced today. Fox News correspondent Stephen Goen has more from Cincinnati.
What's your message to Damar Hamlin and his family?
I spoke to his mother and father at night.
Support for Damar Hamlin pouring in from fans, fellow players, even the White House. The Buffalo Bills safety collapsed after suffering cardiac arrest on the field during Monday night's game here in Cincinnati. He remains in critical condition, but Thursday brought good news. His physicians say he's shown what they call remarkable improvement over the past 24 hours. The Bills writing in a statement, quote, "While he's still critically ill, he's demonstrated that he appears to be neurologically intact."
He is beginning to awaken, and it appears that his neurological condition and function is intact.
Hamlin's agents also say he's opened his eyes and he's gripping the hands of family members. While his fans wait for more news, they're showing their solidarity by flooding his holiday toy drive with support, raising more than $7 million since Monday night.
DeMar would want to use this to help other people. He would hate for all this attention to just be on him and there not be a positive outcome.
Meanwhile, doctors are asking hard questions about whether this tragedy could have been avoided. Some are pushing for new rules to limit unsafe tackles, while others say it's the nature of the game.
I think there are probably some subtle tweaks they can do to equipment, but I think that at a violent sport, you're never going to eliminate the risk.
Now, the Bills are scheduled to return to practice on Thursday for the first time since Hamlin's collapse. In Cincinnati, Stephen Gowen, Fox News.
Up next, we'll check out what could be the future of automobiles with the color-changing car. BMW has unveiled a new concept car that changes color. It is one of two concept cars the auto giant showcased at the Consumer Electronics Show, both called the iVision D concept. The D, spelled DEE, stands for Digital Emotion Experience. The color-changing model can go through a full palette of colors with different parts of the car body showing different colors all at once, including the wheels. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. And we'll learn about some proposals to upgrade parks in Carthage, Missouri. Plus,
the president is announcing a new plan to address the crisis at the border. I'm Mallory Rivera in Washington with those details coming up.
Residents of Carthage could start seeing changes in two of the city's parks, and KOAM Shagun Bamdali has more.
As the conditions of some of the city's busiest parks continue to deteriorate, Carthage City Council is considering renovating some of the city's parks in a couple of months.
Sure. We recently completed a parks master plan, and so we will be implementing quite a few things in that, specifically phase 1 and phase 2 of the parks master plan. Parks master plan is a statistically valid survey that we sent out to the community about a year and a half ago, and to really understand what the community wants to see in its parks.
Residents of Carthage say it is time for the parks to get renovated.
Honestly, they need to bring more stuff to Carthage and the parks for my kids to have more to do and update the basketball goals and fix the bathrooms better. Because it would be a lot better because this bathrooms right there are half the time working, half the time they don't. And right now during the wintertime they have to lock them because it's too cold to have them open.
Amandinga says new playgrounds and restrooms are coming.
Well, right now we're focusing on updating our restrooms and our playground equipment. We haven't had updated playground equipment in some time, so 2 of our parks will be seeing some presentations at the upcoming City Council meeting for approval for 2 playgrounds to go into 2 of our parks, and then we're working on finalizing some plans for 3 more playgrounds.
Reporting in Carthage, Shagun Bamdale, KOAM News.
Park and Place Structures, a company based in Tennessee, will be contracted to replace playground equipment in Municipal Park and Carter Park for a total of about $1.4 million. The proposals will be considered by the council next week. New government data shows weekly jobless claims have fallen to the lowest level since September. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says about 204,000 people applied for the first time unemployment benefits last week. Claims for people who have received benefits for more than 1 week also dropped. Many economists have feared the Federal Reserve's inflation-fighting efforts could throw the economy into a recession and lead to many massive layoffs. But so far, the labor market appears to be staying resilient. President Biden is turning his focus to the southern border, where he plans to make a visit Sunday to see the migrant crisis firsthand. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera reports from Washington.
But instead of safe and orderly process at the border, we have a patchwork system.
After months of criticism for his administration's handling of the border, President Biden is cracking down on illegal border crossings. The U.S. will allow up to 30,000 migrants from Venezuela, Nicaragua, Haiti, and Cuba every month if they have a sponsor and pass background checks.
This new process is orderly, it's safe, and it's humane. And it works.
We are here because our immigration system is broken, outdated,
and in desperate need of reform.
At the same time, the U.S. plans to send roughly the same number of people to Mexico each month if they enter illegally through Title 42. The Supreme Court has kept the policy in place for now, but the president's measures mark a big turnaround for the Biden administration.
This is an authority that he has said he doesn't like, that they are fighting in front of the Supreme Court, yet he's going to extend Title 42.
The border has emerged as a top political thorn for the president, who's making his first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border Sunday. Immigration advocacy groups are slamming the president's plan. The ACLU saying this knee-jerk expansion of Title 42 will put more lives in grave danger. The Department of Homeland Security says it will begin denying asylum to those who do not follow legal pathways. The president is also set to visit Mexico, where he is expected to talk about migration issues with the country's president. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
A bit later, the suspect in the murders of the 4 Idaho college students appears in court for the first time.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today. Partly sunny skies, temperatures not bad. Most of us upper 40s to near 50 for afternoon highs. It looks pretty good right now in Indigo Sky Casino and Resorts. Looks pretty good. We do have some mid and upper level clouds, which are starting to increase, but overall, it's going to be a quiet and a fairly nice night. Temps earlier today, upper 40s to near 50 once you got into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Everybody's dropped off. 36 Monette, 34 in Pineville, Fort Scott 35, 29 in Fredonia, Afton at 31. With the clouds rolling in, I don't think we're going to drop off too low, but most of us will be in that kind of 27 to 30, 31 degree range. Let's go outside. 7th and Rangeline sitting at 37. West southwesterly winds, light humidity is at 52%. Through the overnight hours, hanging out near 30. A lot of clouds increasing during the morning, 43. By 10, you can see those mid and upper level clouds increasing. Nothing underneath them, so we are going to stay dry, but really thickening up once you get out across western Kansas into the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas due to this storm system. Not a super strong system at this point in time. It's weakened a bit, but you can see this little wave right in here, and that's going to shoot toward us tomorrow night, then heading into the weekend. Let's go through time. Tonight, clouds start to increase 28 to 30. Through the morning, mostly cloudy, warming near 50 by noon. Most of us about 53 or 54. Could get a random sprinkle. 50 in Mount Vernon, 55 in Miami, Chanute, up to about 51. Tomorrow night, clouds continue to thicken. Some pop-up showers, especially late evening, after midnight into Saturday morning. Saturday, clouds stick around, hit and miss showers stick around, especially on the Missouri side. That's where the higher chances are going to be all day long, hanging in the 40s, upper 40s, on and off light little showers. Most of this is going to be gone by Saturday evening, and then eventually we drop back near freezing by Sunday morning. Here's your day planner starting 31 in the morning, 50 by noon, high temp 53, drop back to 51 as we head into the afternoon hours. Also, the winds pick up a little bit. Southerly winds tomorrow, not super strong, but winds gusting kind of 25, maybe upwards to 30 at times. But most of the weekend looks good. As we march into next week, things shaping up pretty good. Tuesday, Wednesday, here comes our next system on Thursday, much stronger storm system. This should give us some rain, maybe a little bit of snow on the backside, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that as we go through the next week or so. 53 tomorrow, 49 Saturday, 48 Sunday, back near 60 next Wednesday. Those rain chances Thursday, and then cooling down just a little bit. Another system moving in late next weekend.
Yeah, those temps look awesome.
Yeah, overall, not too bad for January.
Yeah, so growing up in the north, I would never see 50s and 60s in January.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm super happy. All right, thank you, Doug. Coming up in sports, the Missouri Southern women aim to bounce back tonight on the road against Fort Hays State. Plus, the Joplin boys hit the floor in the first round of the Kaminsky Classic. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
Well, today is the opening day of the Kaminsky Classic at Joplin High School. Now, the Eagles are first on the schedule today, facing the William Chrisman Bears in round one. And Joplin aiming for back-to-back tournament titles in this thing, coming into the day with a 5-3 record. Early on, check out the tough finish here from Collis Jones off the glass. Joplin leads by 4 after 1. For the second quarter now, Quinn Renfro on the break. Rises up and gets the lay-in. Then Renfro drives. Gives it up to Terrence Gibson for the two-handed jam. Eagles keep the lead at 4 at half. Third quarter is when they pulled away. All right. It's the hot hand pull-up 3 for the Eagles. Then another. Right finishes with a game-high 20 points. Moments later, Gibson all alone on the break. 15 points, 9 boards for Gibson. Joplin gets by William Chrisman in round 1 tonight, 53-45. Well, both the Pittsburgh State Gorillas and Missouri Southern Lions are in action tonight in MIAA conference play. Missouri Southern is in western Kansas tonight, facing the Fort Hays State Tigers. On the women's side, Lions are 12-2 coming into the night, ranked 11th in the nation. And not a good one this evening. Southern gets outscored 26-11 in the fourth, falling 72-54. Chrislyn Jones leads the way for the Lions with 15 points. Maddie Stokes also in double figures with 12. After that, the Southern men hit the floor against the Tigers. The Lions kind of on a roll right now, winning 4 straight after beating rival Pittsburgh State on Monday. They made it 5 straight tonight, winning 68-56. 4 players in double figures, with Vincent Sigmund Jr. leading the way with 16 points and 6 rebounds. Now, the Pittsburgh State Gorillas are also on the road tonight. The Gorillas are in Nebraska, facing the Nebraska Kearney Lopers. On the women's side, it's a big one for the Gorillas. UNK is 13-3, ranked 22nd in the nation. Pitt State looking to bounce back, or looking for back-to-back wins over ranked opponents after beating Missouri Southern on Monday. Kearney, though, too much tonight, 70-55. Another double-double for Pittsburgh State sophomore Corinna Gerber. She goes for 15 points and 10 rebounds. Now, after that one, the Pitt State men face the Lopers, trying to bounce back from Monday's loss to Southern. The Gorillas fall 63-61. On a pair of late free throws, Quentin Hardrick Jr. scores a game-high 17 points for Pittsburgh State. One of the best high school quarterbacks in Northeast Oklahoma signs today to continue his career at the college level. Quapa's Jack Derringer signs this afternoon to head to Minnesota to play for St. John's University. Derringer, coming off a monster senior season for Quapa, he threw for 2,859 yards, collected 39 touchdowns, leading the Wildcats to their first 10-win season since 1995. Now here he is on getting the opportunity to continue playing and what made St. John's the right choice.
St. John's has a really good business program, and I want to go into business, and education's a big part of not as well as just playing football, but going on the next level. You know, they have a offense coordinator. He played for the Packers, and they have some ties in with the Vikings and all those schools. You know, they have really good guys. I was looking for that when I was picking school. I might have to bring my game up quite a bit to compete with these guys. You know, they've been national championship every other year, so gonna have to compete harder and, you know, be more focused.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news right after this.
The man accused of brutally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death appeared in court, and one Fox reporter has the latest on how police were able to nab their suspect.
Brian Kohberger in an Idaho court Thursday to face first-degree murder charges in the November slayings of 4 college students. It's Kohberger's first court appearance since being extradited from Pennsylvania, where he was taken into custody last week while visiting family.
Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree.
According to a newly unsealed affidavit, Kohberger's arrest came after investigators used DNA evidence to link him to a knife sheath left behind at the scene of the murders. Cell phone records also indicate Kohberger visited the area near the home at least a dozen times prior to that night. His phone, however, was not traced there that evening. Documents also reveal police have video evidence showing a white sedan believed to be driven by Kohberger circling the house before the murders and then fleeing from the scene at a high speed around 4:30 a.m. One of the most alarming pieces of evidence, testimony from another roommate in the house who alleges they saw a tall man wearing all black and a mask on the night of the murders. The man apparently walked right by the roommate as they stood frozen in shock. In Moscow, Kohberger's arrest is welcome news, as many say it's the first step towards closure.
I hope justice will be served. Nothing will ever bring those kids back, but I hope justice will be served.
Koberger will remain in custody without bail, and he's been ordered not to contact surviving victims or their families. His next court day is set for next week. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll get a first look at some new movies. That and more Hollywood news next. New movies, first looks, Abbott Elementary's public school initiative, and more. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with today's Hollywood Nation.
Welcome back, Walter. Abbott gives back, and a frightening franchise returns in today's Hollywood Nation. Today's First Looks has the terrifying trailer for Evil Dead Rise. The next chapter in the Evil Dead saga centers around two estranged sisters and one frightening family reunion cut short by the rise of demons. The horror flick is in theaters April 21st. Hulu has First Picks of History of the World Part 2, which premieres this spring. The series' sequel follows up Mel Brooks' film Part 1 40 years later. Episodes feature sketches spanning different times in history. It stars Brooks, Wanda Sykes, Nick Kroll, and Ike Barinholtz. All are writers and producers on the show.
This may come as a surprise, but
Abbott Elementary is teaming up with Donors Choose for an initiative to help public schools. In celebration of the series' return, Donors Choose will match $500,000 in donations benefiting public school teachers for a possible $1 million in classroom funding. Teachers can post projects for funding now in time for January 10th, when Donors Choose drops a special code for doubled donations. And Bryan Cranston is in character as Walter White for a Popcorners Super Bowl ad. The actor posted a photo on Instagram in Breaking Bad form with a bag of the snacks standing in the desert. The caption says breaking soon and the Super Bowl date February 12th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, that's our time for now. Thank you so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with a video of a porcupine visiting some lions at the San Antonio Zoo. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.